Some people seem to realize that when they leave a plate full of cupcakes out in the open, and they don't, they seem to think that I won't have at it. But, anyways, today's battle is a RU match that I had against somebody by the name of TRGrunt. Found him on the Smoke Battle Finder, and it is an RU match because I'm using the Sorry team. And, yeah. Oh, excuse me. So, anyways, looking at his team looks kind of stall based or prone to stall because of the fact that he has just a bunch of bulky Pokemon. He has a Regenerator Core. He's able to set up Toxic Spikes, and then he has Moltres and Primeape on there as a potential Scarfers or just heavier hitters to kind of force switches. But either way, right on with the match, I'm gonna lead off with my Yuxi because my main priority is to get on my rocks because he does have Moltres and he has no spinner. So the second I get those rocks up, they're there to stay. As he's a Primeape and he goes to the U-turn, and the fact that U-turn did 50% easily, it should have been a red flag saying, oh hey, that's choice banded because a choice scarf U-turn should only do like 25 to 30%. So that should have been a red flag saying, hey, it's choice banded. But but throughout this entire match, I thought that the Primeape was choice scarf. So because of the fact that I thought it was choice scarf, that will cause me to worry a bit in the future. But anyways, U-turn into my Ferroseed as he goes into his own Yuxi, and I'm just realizing, hey, I could set up my entry hazards all over this Yuxi's face. And that's essentially what I do because he sets up his rocks and then goes for a Psychic shortly, just to realize that Psychic does shit to Ferroseed. So so I go for the Leech Seed now, and I'm just going for the Leech Seed just so I can get some HP back. Plus, whatever he wanted to switch into, I can go for that, or get that thing Leech Seeded and then just get a recovery. But yeah, so I'm essentially just getting my hazard up. I believe I get 2 layers of spikes up before I get forced out when this Moltres comes in right here. So Moltres is in. I don't want to be in against this Moltres because it's Moltres. I'm a Ferroseed. I'm gonna want to switch out of there. So, oh, excuse me, I'm going to go into my Yuxi here, and this part I'll be sped up because, as you see, he is a sub-roost Moltres, so that's just kind of frustrating. It's going to make this Moltres be alive a lot, a lot longer than it should be alive. So I'm just spamming Psychics when one thing that I should have, or a game plan I should have had, was Psychic him to a point where he's going to want to roost, and then I could go for the U-turn as on the turn that he roosts and go into either my Galvantula or my Cinccino and just scare him out with a Thunder or just Rock Blast or whatever. But instead I'm just like, oh okay, I'm just gonna spam Psychics, try to get this thing out of the way because I don't want to switch anything into Small Trace because I don't want to risk me switching into an attack where he predicts my switch. And then I'll assume that's what he does right here by going for the Fire Blast on the turn that he could have roosted. And to be 100% honest, like, I was ridiculously close to switching into my Ferroseed for some godforsaken reason. I really don't know why. But either way, he does end up dying due to Psychic, so that's some stuff. As now he just goes back to Primeape, gonna U-turn and just kill off my Yuxi because I figured, hey, I really don't have much use for Yuxi now because of the fact that his Moltres is dead and Moltres can't really, or Yuxi was my main thing to take on or to take hits from Moltres, and now Moltres is dead. I figured, hey, I really don't need Yuxi, but that kind of just goes away. But anyways, go to Ferroseed here, and I will be able to set up my no. I get paralyzed right here. But yeah, I went to my Ferroseed because he went into Yuxi and already discovered, hey, Yuxi can't do anything to my Ferroseed, so go to that, set up some entry hazards, Leech Seed, Thunder Wave, whatever. But I get paralyzed as he switches to Amoonguss, and then he shows me he has Hidden Power Fire, so I guess that's one thing I could look out for. But fortunately, I am able to live because of the fact that it's unstabbed, it's an Amoonguss, they don't really have an outstanding special attacking stat, plus I'm a Ferroseed with Eviolite. So I do manage to get my 3rd layer spikes up, so having Ferroseed die really no big deal at this point. So I'm gonna go into my Hariyama because I really don't have a whole hell of a lot. I really don't have a whole hell of a lot that can take on this Amoonguss. So I'm gonna go for the Fake Out, get my Toxic Orb activated, so I have so now I at least have something I can switch into a Spore just so I just to get put this, or to avoid the sleep, I should say that. So I'm gonna go for the rock slide here because I don't know. Guess I could try to flinch the Amoonguss because, like I said, I really don't have a whole hell of a lot for Amoonguss. But he goes into his Yuxi, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I could just go into my Spiritomb because chances are he's gonna either go for the Psychic or U-turn, and he just goes for Psychic. So, Psychic, that's not doing. Obviously, it's not gonna do anything to me because I'm a Dark type. But he just decides to Thunder Wave me. That doesn't bug me because I'm Resto Chesto, no big deal. Just start setting up Calm Minds on this thing. Just because Yuxi's essentially setup fodder, so I'm setting up on him. That's what you do with setup fodders. But it was right there. He went for Stealth Rock. I'll assume that was a misclick. He meant to go for the U-turn, but that just gives me a free Calm Mind, so I'm not going to complain about that. Now he decides to go for the U-turn. So U-turn, and I believe I get 3 Calm Minds up total. Yeah, because I got +2 up, and then here I get a +3. So that's some fun stuff. And it didn't dawn on me that he still has a Amoonguss, and Amoonguss could potentially have the Clear Smog until after he went for the U-turn. And right here is just like, okay, well, you know what? I'm already +3. I'm just gonna stay and go for the Dark Pulse and just see how much it does to Slowking. It takes out Slowking from that point, so that's awesome. Anyways, also due to the fact that he did go into Slowking over Amoonguss, just had me convinced that Amoonguss didn't have Clear Smog. But the fact that now he goes into Amoonguss and goes for the Clear Smog, that just confuses me because I don't know why he didn't do it the other way around. Because that way, if he had gone into Amoonguss, Clear Smog, that would have gotten rid of my +3 special defense, and then chances are that Slowking could have done a bunch more damage to me and possibly just KO'd me. But yeah. Anywho, get a rest up because I'm about to die and I don't want to die, so gonna go for the rest. Go for Calm Mind now, figuring, hey, maybe he's just gonna Giga Drain because maybe he wants my Galvantula or Cinccino sleep more, but nope, just gonna Spore my Spiritomb. So really not too big of a deal because of the fact that if I want anything on my team asleep, it's more than likely going to be the Spiritomb, because Spiritomb, I really don't need it as much for the rest of this team as much as I need Cinccino or Galvantula, because of the fact that Galvantula's Scarf, it's the only thing that I have that I know can outspeed Primate, because I still think it's Scarfed as opposed to Banded. And then Cinccino is just a heavy hitter, so I know I could do a great amount of damage to a lot of things on this team. So, leave Spiritomb in here as Death Fodder pretty much as he goes to Nidoqueen. I'm hoping maybe I could wake up and go for the Dark Pulse, get some extra damage off on the Nidoqueen. But no, stay asleep, die, no big deal, because like I said, just left Spiritomb in there as Death Fodder so I get his safe switch to something else. And that something else happens to be my Cinccino, so gonna go for the Tail Slap, very easily clean out the Nidoqueen from this point because it's Adamant Choice Banded. Obviously, you can do lots of damage. Didn't even have to hit 5 times. So, 8 comes the Yuxi, and I decided to switch out, go into my Hariyama pretty much as a pivot switch because I didn't want my Cinccino to take a Psychic and possibly. I just didn't want my Cinccino to take a Psychic. Because of the fact that it's a Yuxi, it's more than likely going to be able to survive a Tail Slap. So, I went to my Hariyama as a pivot switch, as he actually ends up Thunder Waving, so I guess that was kind of a good play on his part, thinking that maybe I'll stay in, try to go for Tail Slaps, but, I mean, I know Tail Slap won't KO the Yuxi, so I'm just going to go with Hariyama, do the Soul Shenanigans, and I actually end up living a Psychic, so that will allow me to clean him out with a Payback, which is really good because that's another bulky thing out of the way. But unfortunately enough, my Hariyama does die to poison, but like I said, it's really no big deal because of the fact that I brought in Hariyama as Death Fodder or Pivot Switch against the Yuxi, but I pretty much came out of that situation. I got more use out of Hariyama than I intended, that's what I want to say. So, double down, here comes Amoonguss, and at this point I'm figuring, okay, this is a tough situation because I can't exactly go into Cinccino as Sleep Fodder, because then Cinccino's asleep, and have problems with that. And then if I switch back into Galvantula, that's 25% due to the rocks, and then he can just hit me with Giga Drain or Hidden Power Fire or whatever. But the second thing that confused me is the fact that he went for Hidden Power Fire over Spore right there. Because if he had gone for Spore, then I would be asleep and would be pretty much forced to switch out because Hidden Power Fire, or actually he would just KO my Galvantula right there because Hidden Power Fire would just clean out Galvantula. But because of the fact they went for Hidden Power Fire that allows me to take out the Amoonguss, Ingram's Primate, I'm just really hoping that a Bug Buzz can kill this thing, and it does. I'll figure, oh, GG, this thing's Scarf, I can't outspeed with Cinccino. But then I outspeed it, and that's where it clicked in my mind, oh, he's banded. And when that should have clicked in my mind at the beginning of the match as opposed to the last turn of the match. So, I guess that's what happens when you don't pay attention. So, I just realized I said so like 4 times in like the past 30 seconds. Anyways, so that's about that for this match. Hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, then feel free to leave a comment down below. Do not forget to show a like button some love, and if you're not subscribed to me already and wish to see more videos and battles such as this in the near future, then feel free to click the subscribe button down below. And yeah. Anyway, that's about that. So hope you guys enjoyed, and do not forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. That was kind of awkward.